The secret of the golden compass. The storm came without warning. One moment, the sea was calm and blue, and the next, black clouds rolled over the horizon. Waves rose higher than houses, crashing against the small boat as if trying to swallow it whole. 17-year-old Jake held the steering wheel with both hands, his knuckles white. His younger sister Emma clung to the railing, her hair plastered across her face by the rain. "Jake, we're going to sink," she screamed. "No, we won't," Jake shouted back, though fear was burning in his chest. He had promised their parents, who were away on a work trip, that he would keep Emma safe. Now it felt like an impossible promise. The wind howled like a wild animal, and lightning split the sky in two. Then, just as suddenly as it began, the storm was gone. The sea grew quiet. The boat floated calmly, rocking only a little, as if nothing had happened. But Jake and Emma stared wide-eyed at what lay in front of them. Out of the mist rose an island they had never seen on any map. Tall cliffs sparkled with waterfalls, and golden sand shone under the weak sunlight. The island looked magical, like something from a dream. Emma whispered, "Where are we?" Jake shook his head. "I don't know. But maybe this is a place we were meant to find." Curiosity burned stronger than fear. They anchored the boat and rowed a small dinghy to shore. The sand was warm under their feet, and the air smelled of flowers and salt. Strange birds with rainbow feathers flew overhead, calling out with voices that almost sounded like laughter. Emma picked up a shiny shell and giggled. "Jake, look, it's shaped like a star." But Jake wasn't listening. He had spotted something sticking out of the sand near a cluster of palm trees. It was an old wooden chest, half buried, with rusty iron edges. His heart pounded as he and Emma dug around it with their hands. With a creak, they opened the chest. Inside was only one thing: a compass. It was no ordinary compass. Instead of pointing north, its needle spun wildly and then stopped, glowing faintly. On the lid of the compass, words were carved: "Follow the heart, not the map." Emma frowned. "What does that mean?" Jake smiled nervously. "I think we're about to find out." The compass needle pointed toward the thick jungle. Taking a deep breath, Jake stepped forward, and Emma followed. The jungle was alive with sound. Monkeys chattered in the trees, insects buzzed, and every now and then, a rustle in the bushes made them freeze. At one point, Emma squealed when a lizard ran across her foot. Jake laughed, trying to lighten the mood. "Don't worry, Emma. It probably thought your shoe was a rock." Deeper into the jungle, they found signs that people had once lived there. Broken stone statues covered in vines, steps leading nowhere, and an old well filled with clear water. "This feels like a treasure hunt," Emma said with wide eyes. "It does," Jake admitted. "But remember, treasure hunts are never easy." The compass needle shifted suddenly, pointing toward a dark cave at the base of a cliff. Jake felt a chill. "Do we really have to go in there?" Emma asked, her voice trembling. Jake took her hand. "We've come this far. Let's be brave." Inside the cave, the air was cool and smelled of earth. Their footsteps echoed as they walked. The compass glowed brighter, lighting their path. Suddenly, the ground trembled. Rocks fell from the ceiling, and bats flew out in a black cloud. Emma screamed, ducking, but Jake pulled her close. "Stay with me," he shouted. When the cave grew still again, they saw something incredible. At the end of the tunnel stood a tall stone door. Symbols covered it, glowing faintly, and in the center was a round hole exactly the size of the compass. Jake carefully placed the compass into the hole. With a deep rumble, the door slid open, revealing a hidden chamber. Inside, golden light filled the room. Piles of treasure glittered: coins, jewels, crowns. Emma's eyes widened. "We're rich." But Jake didn't move toward the gold. His eyes were fixed on something else, a pedestal in the center of the room, holding an ancient book. Unlike the treasure, it glowed softly, almost gently, as if alive. Jake stepped closer and opened it. The pages were filled with drawings of the island, stories of people who once lived there, and lessons about kindness, courage, and unity. Emma frowned. "It's just a book. Shouldn't we take the treasure?" Jake shook his head slowly. This is the real treasure. Look." He pointed to one page. The words read, "Gold fades, but wisdom shines forever." Before Emma could answer, the ground shook again. The treasure piles collapsed into dust, vanishing as if they had never been real. The book, however, remained solid in Jake's hands. The compass popped out of the door and floated back into Jake's pocket. The cave began to collapse. "Run!" Jake shouted. They raced out just as the stone door crashed shut behind them. Gasping for breath under the sunlight, Emma said, "So the compass led us here not for gold, but for knowledge?" Jake nodded. "I think it wanted us to learn something more important than wealth." The compass needle spun again and pointed back toward the beach. Following it, they made their way out of the jungle, laughing when Emma tripped over a root and pretending to sword fight with long sticks they found. Even in their fear, they found moments of fun. When they reached the boat, the compass glowed one last time before fading to normal. The island behind them seemed to shimmer, then slowly disappeared into mist, as if it had never existed. Back at sea, the sky was clear and the water calm. Emma hugged the book tightly. "Do you think anyone will believe us?" Jake chuckled. "Probably not. But that doesn't matter. We'll remember it, and we'll use what we learned." When they finally returned home, safe and sound, they kept the compass and the book hidden in a wooden box under Jake's bed. Sometimes, when life was hard, they would open the book and read its lessons. And every time they did, the compass would glow faintly, reminding them of their adventure. The secret of the golden compass was not about finding riches. It was about courage, love, and the wisdom that guides us when maps cannot. The lesson of this story is clear. True treasure is not gold or jewels, but the strength we build inside ourselves, the courage to face challenges, and the kindness we show to others. When we follow the heart, not just the map, we discover who we really are.